Good morning, everyone. Here we are again for another Hattons live session, looking at some of the greatest models available on the market today. With it being the start of autumn, I thought we'd take an appropriate look at the Hattons Originals railhead treatment train. You can see these a lot on the network at the moment. They're really starting to come back out again. So I thought I'd take a closer look at the model for you, as well as some of the finer details there as well. So we'll take a quick closer look, we'll give you some inspiration, and if you've got any questions at all, please do ask them in the chat and I will see if I can respond to them for you. So this model's available in double O gauge. You can see here that it's available in the 2-set or the 3-set formation as well, with the additional wagon available. And these are a pretty modern train. They were introduced to the railways in 2004, mainly used to combat leaf fall across the railways in the UK. So you've got a picture there, an appropriate picture of a Class 56 in a pretty wet autumn day, which can have this effect on the railways as well. So they're hauled by pretty much any locomotive you can imagine. They replaced a lot of earlier multiple units and other converted trains as well, which did have the duty of cleaning the rails. So the actual wagons work. They have the high pressure jets on them as well for clearing the railhead with high pressure jetted water. They also have the sandite module as well, which is a sand-like substance which is applied to the rails, which helps trains grip as well. So when you've got those autumn seasons there, you really don't have an issue getting grip if the RHTT passes over often. So as you can imagine, this is a train that operates throughout the autumn. It doesn't really get seen much in the rest of the year, but cleaning the dirt and detritus off the track really does have an effect. We do sell both clean and weathered versions, as you can see here, but they don't stay clean for long, really. The image of the Class 56 that we just showed was only after a few days of operation. But let's take a closer look at the model there for you as well. So I thought I'd put some of the modules here so you can have a closer look, as these do detach and attach as you wish from the models as well. So you can see some of the finer printing on there. You see some of the real fine details. Each module, this is the sandite and the control module that you see here in the close-up. Both of these have over 50 separate prints each, including the various safety notices that you can see there, the network rail branding, the owners of the wagons, the overhead warning lines, and the various warnings regarding the corrosive and dangerous materials that they contain to help clean the track. So I'll just pull it back to the main camera so you can see the formations here as well. As we mentioned, these are provided in packs of 2, and you do get an additional wagon there as well, should you want to extend it to a set of 3. There's 2 different formations based on whether it is just the water jetting module that you want. So this train is purely for water jetting to clean the railhead. And then you do get the option of the sandite modules as well. So this also applies to separate sand. And you can see there that the modules are easily removable as well. They do come separate in the packet, should you wish to apply them. And if you'd like that there as well, you can get these now. If you check the link in the description, the sets start at £118 for the pair. Then it's £59 for the additional wagon, and it's a couple of pounds more if you want the weathered 2 or the 3 sets as well. But these have been a staple of the UK's railways since 2005. They're seen pretty much all over the country, especially at the moment with the sets coming back into operation in early autumn. I believe this year they're in operation with a variety of different diesel locomotives, including Class 37s, Class 66s, Class 56s as well. So a real variety of classic and modern traction that you can use with these sets. The typical formation, as you see in the photo there, is top and tail. So this, just try and get the photo up, sorry, just having a technical blip, but I'll show you on the set instead. So the typical formation is either a 2 or a 3 car set with a loco at either end. So even if you've got a smaller layout as well, you can fit a really small but full formation onto your layout. They go a lot of places normal freight trains don't go, with the covering the passenger settings. That photo has just appeared for you there now as well of the formation. So you can see there that that's a 3 car set with 2 Class 56s on the front. And there's a close-up of the models as well, so you can see the clean and the pristine versions available there in the two-cart set formations, the water jetting at the top and the sandite below. I've just been told we're having a couple of technical glitches, as you may have guessed. We've got an issue with the chat, so unfortunately I'm not able to answer or see any questions that are coming through. But for those of you who are watching, it is great to, well, not see you here, but if you have got any particular questions, please still ask them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them after the stream. I apologise that I can't answer them live on the show. So in midst of that, I will try and cover whatever I anticipate to be the questions in that case. Now, the models can go around second radius curves. You can get them around some really nice fine point work there as well. They also are supplied with a separate permanent coupling bar, which if you are running them round the tighter curves is recommended. You've also got various extra couplings and air pipes in there as well. Should you want to fit those, you've got the locating hooks on the end of the wagons. They've got NEM couplings with fully rotating heads as well, sprung buffers, and as we mentioned before, a wealth of detail, not only on the wagons, but on the modules themselves. I'll just let you have another closer look at the sandite and the control module there as well, as you can see on the screen. They do have the ladders as well that go down the side of the wagons, and they clip on absolutely fine. They have securing lugs on the wagons themselves. So some of you may be thinking that the wagons do look a little familiar as well, and they are actually based on the FEA container wagon, which was a wagon introduced into the UK in the early 2000s. The FEA F design, as this is known, was developed from that, so it is quite a standardised design. And this is similar with the container wagons as well. In fact, we do produce the FEA S single container wagon, which is a very similar body, but obviously with a very different top and a very different duty as well. But if you've got a layout that's modelled 2005 onwards, there really isn't an excuse for an RHTT set on your layout with the sheer variety of locomotives that have operated with these. We're talking pretty much everything, guys. We've got 20s, 37s, even class 40s on testing duties, class 47s. If you're a fan of the modern locomotives, you've got 68s, 70s, 67s, 66s, the whole lot really. And you can check that link in the description as well, should you wish to find out more. We've got a full formations guide and also some hints as to where they work. And they really do cover the top to the bottom of the country. The set's currently working out of Inverness, which are covering the Highlands of Scotland, coming right through the east of England with sets running out of York with class 37 locomotives, into East Anglia, places such as Stowmarket and Norwich as well with class 37s and 57s on that, I believe, and heading into the West Midlands, Wales, Devon, Cornwall, South East England. The whole network has to be covered to keep trains running reliably, and it is the RHTT that does that as well. So it's a model that's great for pretty much anyone. If you've got a couple of locomotives in your fleet already, and let's be honest, who hasn't really in double O gauge, it is something that can really find a home on your layout. And we have stock of all the models you see available now. They come as two sets with an additional third water tank wagon to increase the capacity. That's used in real life on some of the duties that are quite a long time between refueling. There's certain diagrams that do last for over 24 hours, including the Welsh diagram that goes right to the Welsh coast near Aberystwyth and then up to the north coast towards Holyhead as well. So they do need the extra capacity of water to keep the water jets going for hundreds of miles as well. So you've got full metal wheels there. Also, you've got no pickups on this, but you have got all the underframe detail that you can see there on the screen now. You've got the full pipe work and the water jetting equipment. You've got the swiveling bogies there too. You've also got some of the brake equipment, and again, just as much signage on the bottom as there is on the top of the wagons with the full Network Rail Blue branding. The weathering you see is as it is provided out of the packet as well. You can buy those either clean or ready weathered as well. And these models, they've been in stock with us about a year now, and we've always found them popular, and they are actually a second run now as well. And this really is the appropriate time to get hold of one of these. So we are seeing a little bit in a surge of sales, as those of you who are seeing the real life trains coming back out of retirement. They are usually stored at York as well in the east of England, but coming back out of retirement and heading back onto the network to perform their yearly duties around and about. But that also gives a great other opportunity to model, even if you've not got an autumn themed layout. If you're modeling spring or winter, you can model these sets being transferred between Network Rail's own yards. They sometimes get into quite lengthy trains as well, of multiple units. So you can, if you want a nice big long train, you certainly can have a nice big long train of these as well. Just again, I will show you the modules once more. So you can see the details that have gone on there, the etched handrails too, which are quite fine, but they do stand up to a bit of rigor as well there. They do stand up to a bit of playing with. And just to bring you back to the main setup there as well, just to cover the detail pack once more. This is optional details. You can already see the level of details that we've got fitted to the wagon there. But if you do want to run them around tighter radius curves, you can do with the bar coupling there. And if you wanted to swap them out for more detailing, you have got the fully authentic shackle coupling also. But this gives you a great opportunity either to buy the weathered wagons and weather your own loco with them as well. Just looking at that Class 56 there on the screen, it really has got quite mucky with the residue and the sandite goo, shall we say, that comes out of the wagons there as well. So there's some great opportunities should you wish to model or improve on your weathering skills also. So there's 6 different codes available. And that is the different sets there as well. So in clean or weathered, we have the sandite set, we have the water jetting set. Both of those are the 2 packs. And then for each as well, you have the additional centre carriage as well with the additional water jetting modules. So they start at £118 for the 2, it's £126 for the weathered versions, and then it's either £59 or £63, dependent on whether you want a weathered additional wagon or not. And the website doesn't only contain the information on the models themselves. There is a full description there of everything I've talked about also, but a lot of the history, some formations guide showing some of the usual and unusual locomotives that have worked on these sets. You've also got a map on there as well, showcasing where some of the sets do operate throughout the country, and some photos of when we did our own research trips to measure the wagons and to get some of the details there as well, to really provide you some inspiration on how to get one of these onto your layout. But as said, if you are a modeler of eras 9, 10 or 11 in 00 gauge, there really isn't an excuse to have an RHTT on your layout, especially at this time of the season as well. If you're modelling a lot of modern trains, it's a great way to get some classic diesel locomotives onto your layout. If you're a fan of more modern locomotives, you don't need a standardised freight train or a passenger train as well for them. You can get them on what is a fairly short self-contained formation. The maximum you're going to need is 3 wagons and 2 locos at either end. So you're talking just over 4 feet in length, which is great to get on some of the smaller layouts as well. They run into depots, they run into terminus stations, they run the length and breadth of the country. So whether you're modelling a sleepy branch line in the Scottish Highlands or a bustling terminus heading into London, the RHTT can be seen there in real life. And do take a look as well online, as there's a lot of great photos from people coming out there as well. So all it remains me to say, again, just a quick apologise for the technical hiccup we had. I've not been able to see the chat this time, but I will take time to answer any questions you have, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook as well. So please do put those comments in there, and I will keep an eye on that after the stream to answer any questions you have that I may not have covered in this session. All the models are available now. You can check that link in the description for more information and to place your order as well. And hopefully we'll give you some inspiration on an unusual, but certainly appropriate for this time of year train to operate. Otherwise, check out the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page as well. And I will see you next time. Take care.